In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I use AI in order to automatically find improvements in the location data that I receive from Google Ads. So it's a pain when you get a bunch of location data showing you the performance by location, but you can only see the performance by location by campaign, and so you can't really tell which locations are actually performing well versus which aren't. And so by uploading it to AI, it allows us to see which locations are actually performing well versus which are just being stat padded by one campaign that's performing really well versus one that actually isn't. And then additionally, it allows us to analyze a bunch of location data significantly quicker. I mean, saving you hours if you're managing multiple accounts. So the way I go in and do this is by clicking download next to the location data. I always do a CSV file. I definitely recommend filtering this down to just the last 30 days or so. Depending on the amount of data you have in the account, going farther back is better, but if you are running higher spend, then you may run into some issues where you're giving too much data to AI and it's just not able to get you an accurate response. It overweights the first data that it sees and ignores the last, or vice versa. So actually in this example, we'll do 90 days for this account. Come in, click download. Make sure you have the relevant metrics for your business. Really, the only things you need are going to be impressions, cost, clicks, conversions, and nope, that's it. I paused the video just to make sure I was naming everything, because you can pretty much automatically calculate everything else from that data. Sometimes, though, it is easier to include certain metrics to give AI an easier job of figuring out what's actually performing well versus which isn't performing well. And quite frankly, just for this example video, I'm not going to be setting up the exact columns that I would typically use. Just wanted to show you how I actually use the data inside Claude. Now that I have this data uploaded to Claude, and you can really use any large language model, I'm going to give it instructions on how I would like it to go about analyzing the data. I would like you to analyze the following location report from a Google Ads account for a e-com business that is running ads internationally. We have some branded and unbranded campaigns. I want you to ignore the performance of the branded campaigns and just give me the performance by location of all the other campaigns on average, and tell me which locations are performing best versus which aren't. The big thing that we care about is conversion value over cost. Our goal is to have a 8 ROAS, which is the same as the conversion value over cost metric shown in this data. Also, feel free to ask any more questions you have about the business or the data in order to better give me an analysis of this report. And so I like speech to text. It just allows me to talk naturally to AI to give me the best possible feedback, because the more data you give AI, the better answers it's going to be able to give. Perfect. And now it's outputted the data. As you can tell, it's not going to be perfect in terms of the way it looks, because it is analyzing a ton of data, but it does give us a good idea of what countries are performing the best. And from here, we can ask it further questions. So the next questions that I would have would be, out of all of these locations, which ones of them have spent more than $80 and gotten a ROAS less than 8? And so now, instead of me having to go through and figure out, okay, what locations do we not really need to target, especially across all campaigns, because it could be that some campaigns haven't spent any money in these locations yet, and we want to make sure to make a note of that before either expanding to those countries or when deciding which countries to expand to in our other campaigns. So instead of having to do all that analysis myself, I allow AI to go in and answer that for me. That's another reason why I like AI to, I always prompt it to ask me questions, because there are a lot of things that you don't know, which you don't know, and allowing AI to give you some questions to prompt you to give it more information so that it's able to give you a better analysis is always going to be beneficial. So as we can see that there are just a few locations that are not performing extremely well. The other ones just haven't spent enough money for us to be confident that they're not doing well. $90 is still relatively low when the average purchase price is around $40, but that means that essentially we've spent enough money to get 2 purchases at least, and we haven't gotten anything. It's not enough for me personally to say that it's something that I'd want to turn off, because we have a lot of budget in this account, and we are more than willing to A/B test and spend for a little bit longer in places to make sure that we're making the right decision in turning certain locations off. But this is a great way of how to use AI to strategize when you feed it data. There's a lot of people out there that say you need these complicated scripts and all that, and quite frankly, those can automate these reports and make them faster, and once you set them up for a client one time. But when you're just looking to run a one-time report, I find that this is the easiest way to interact with AI to speed up your process. I save hours every single week by using this exact system to analyze data. So hope this video helps. If there's anything else you'd like me to show on improving the workflows with Google Ads and AI, I'd be more than happy to add another video. So shoot me a message in the comments and I'll put a video out on that. Hope this video helps, and I will see you in the next one.